A random act of kindness can change a life. Kasasa, along with social media star Charlie Rocket, are hitting the road, traveling from town to town together to help people with big dreams fulfill their potential and to inspire millions others to make an impact in someone's life that needs it. Gabe Krajic is the CEO of Kasasa, and he's joining us today to share more on this initiative. This segment, of course, sponsored by Kasasa. Thanks for joining us, Gabe.
Glad to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, for sure. Why is it important to celebrate kindness? And where did this idea for 100,000 acts of kindness come from?
Well, I don't think it's controversial to say that there's some darkness in the world today. And we had a client event not long ago where we were bringing in community banks and credit union leaders to Austin, Texas. And we wanted to do something that would spread some light. And so we challenged these execs to put on bright red capes and to go to downtown Austin and pass out to random strangers little red envelopes that had a bit of money in it, $5 to $10, but more importantly, a note that said, because every little bit matters and so do you. And I watched them pass out these notes. And in particular, I saw a girl at this one bar who was in the corner all alone. And she got the money and took it out and barely even noticed it. But when she saw the words, "You matter," her eyes filled up with big tears and her face turned beet red. And she looked up at the credit union exec that gave it to her and said, "You have no idea how much this means to me in this moment." And it just hit me like a ton of bricks. We've got clients all across the country. Community bank and credit unions love to give back to their community. They believe in human connection. It's what separates them from the mega banks. What if we were able to take that moment that we just had with that lady in the corner of the bar and scale it to 100,000 acts of kindness all across the country? What kind of good could that do? And so I called up Charlie Rocket and couldn't believe it when he said he was trying to figure out how to do the exact same thing. So it's like, we should be together, we should be working on this, and that's what kicked off the whole thing.
Yeah, that's great.
Gabe, what's been your experience as you've been traveling and granting wishes for local community members?
It's just been incredible to see the reaction that they have and the kindness of the community FIs that give back. One that stands out is Miss Ida in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Charlie pulled up in the bus and leaned out and asked Miss Ida what she was driving. And she broke down in tears. And he said to her, "I've got 3 surprises for you. Each one gets more exciting." And the first one was the CEO of Pelican State Credit Union, Jeff Conrad, coming out with a giant check that had $8,000 written on it and gave it to the 65-year-old lady who was living on Social Security, raising her 3 grandkids, and she's bawling. The grandkids are hugging her. And Charlie says, "You got to get in the bus for surprise number 2. And surprise number 2, when they take off their blindfolds, was a brand new car paid for by Pelican State Credit Union so that she didn't have to drive around in that beater. And again, just tears of joy and gratitude. And the third surprise was we had the mayor of Baton Rouge there to honor her as a resilient citizen. And we kicked off a parade with a big brass band and dancing club from the local school and all of the big Dream Machine RVs driving with Miss Ida in her brand new car and her grandkids hanging out of the window, waving at all the people on the side of the road. It was magic.
Yeah, absolutely. We have a very giving community here in Northwest Arkansas. So we're just wondering, how can our community participate in these Best Day Ever events, Gabe?
Well, United Bank and your communities celebrating their 45th anniversary with Best Day Ever, and they're going to be sprinkling kindness all through the area. And if people that are listening to this want to participate, they can go to kasasalove.com. That's KASASALOVE.com. And on that page on November 3rd, there will be a very simple big button. And every time someone is kind, when they do something they might not normally do, they smile a little extra, they make eye contact, they ask somebody their name, and they say thank you and mean it. They can go push that button and count that they were helping us progress towards that goal of 100,000 random acts of kindness.
Okay. I love that.
I think that we can help out with that, Gabe.
100%. Yes. Gabe, thank you so much for joining us and filling us in and getting us inspired to go out and do some community kindness.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.